Here at the gym. All right, the beginning of the school year brings concerns for many children and for parents as well. Good grades, getting enough sleep, and getting along with teachers and other students is critical. But one thing that happens no matter the age, that's bullying. But how do you deal with it? Well, joining us now to tell us how to deal with the bullies in the new school is author of Situational Ethics, Rick Jordan.
Good morning.
Rick, it's good to have you in here,
it's
my
awesome
friend.
to be here, my man. My
Yeah,
hometown. I love it. Love that you guys were
Absolutely.
talking about MJ a little bit ago, too. That's fantastic.
You got the last name, man.
I know,
You're
I know.
Mr. Jordan in Chicago.
Yeah.
Mr. Jordan is a big deal. So how important is it to have conversations about bullying with your children? I have an 11-year-old son who's just embarking on the start of 5th grade.
No doubt. I have twin 11-year-olds and an 8-year-old, too. So it's dear to my heart, my man. You know, what happens if your kid is being bullied? That's the question that almost every parent asks. And what happens if your kid is the bully? You know, these kinds of questions just start rolling through parents' heads. What do I do? You know, and the biggest thing I've seen, I got to tell you, because we're parents, right, my man, is that I see a lot of parents, you know, trying to get the backs of the school districts here because they've got such a tough job. You know, parents are sometimes abdicating their responsibilities to the schools, and they're the ones that got to step in and start talking about it. You know, so what happens if your kid's friend is being bullied, or what happens if your kid's friend is the bully?
Yeah, let's get into those situations.
Yeah,
so that's the first situation here. What do you do if your kid is being bullied?
Exactly. So if your kid is being bullied, you got to notify the authorities. You got to tell the school district right away. CPS, I know, has some great bullying hotlines in place, and I was even talking with some folks in the green room that the Aurora School District is pretty amazing at this too, just zero tolerance. So we've got to encourage and support our school district in these things. You know, so attend your kids' activities. That's what I'm going to say. Because an involved parent is an informed parent. Exactly. Be the soccer mom.
I love that, Rick. Okay, so let's say, unfortunately, your kid is actually the bully. What do you do in that situation?
In that situation, I've seen this a lot to where it comes up. I was even asking the awesome senior in high school back there, the 18-year-old gentleman, what he sees. And he's like, you know, I see insecurity a lot. And that's what I see too in kids, you know, a lot of self-confidence issues, but that starts at home. With parents, you got to display affection. You know, work is tough. Everyone's trying to get through their life and day, but have dinner as a family at least 3 times a week. You know, that's huge, and leave the phones in the other room.
Yeah, it sounds like communication a theme here.
Exactly.
So, okay, what if it's your kid, it's not your kid, but it's your kid's friend that's getting bullied? That could be one of those gray areas because it's not necessarily your child, so what do you do? Exactly.
That comes back down to parents being involved. It really does, because I know with my kids' friends, we know the parents. You know, we start to interact with them.
Which is important. I always think it's odd when when the child has such a good friend, and they don't know who the parents are, because you need to know about those kind of things.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking with those kinds of things. And parents, you can branch out and make new friends out of this too.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
Right on, especially social media. I mean, 80% of students nowadays get bullied on social media. You know, that's 4 out of every 5 kids. So you've got to get online too. You know, a lot of parents want to keep their kids off. I say get them on early. Give them a Facebook account as a 13-year-old birthday gift.
Interesting.
You know, even Facebook's doing like Messenger for kids as young as 8 now. It's awesome because that's just like being involved, you know, going to the soccer game, the basketball game, friend your kid.
Okay, another situation here. Your kid's friend is bullying someone else.
Yeah, we've got to encourage our kids to talk about it and step up and build leaders in our kids today. I mean, my book is really to help leaders reflect, but that starts at such a young age. You've got to start building up this confidence. My son, who's in 6th grade, the 11-year-old, he is the student ambassador this year. You know, he was elected that way, you know, even though he had an issue with bullying last year, you know, but all the kids kind of rallied around him and start to support each other. You start to build that up in your kids young, man, they're going to do awesome in life.
Rick, I love your energy, man. I love how you approach this topic, which is a very timely one right now, and it's something not to forget about. School year starts now, but it goes on throughout the year, so I'd love to have you back on to talk more about some of these other situations. Man. I really appreciate the time.
Thanks so much.
Rick Jordan, everybody, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And for more tips about stopping bullying, you can head to rickjordan.tv for more resources from Rick. He's got some great situations right there, situational ethics. So when we return, it's a homecoming.